Welcome to Spark Joy, the podcast dedicated to celebrating the KonMari method and the transformative power of surrounding yourself with joy and letting go of all the rest. With your hosts and certified KonMari consultants, Kristen Ivy and Karen Sochi. And now, here's the show.
Today's Quick Tips episode focuses on packing joyfully for travel. Although summer travel is upon us, traveling can be a year-round activity, and we think you will find these tips useful no matter the length or purpose of your trip. For us, it's all about the list. Create a master travel list that contains just about every type of item you want to consider when packing for any type of trip. As per good KonMari practice, break it down into categories: clothing, shoes, accessories, necessary documents, toiletries, medications, technology, etc. Make it as detailed as possible for your particular travel needs.
You certainly won't be packing all of these things for each trip, but it's good to have a general or universal reference each time that you pack. A good strategy is to make copies of your packing list so that you have one list per suitcase. And I also like to laminate my packing list or put it in a plastic sleeve so it doesn't get soiled, and I can also avoid it tearing. Definitely have a copy right there that forces you to look through and remember those things that you frequently forget to pack. Maybe your sunglasses or an extra charger or notebook. If you forget something on the trip, also write that item down on your packing list so that you can continue to customize those frequently left objects.
You will also want a soft copy of the master travel list on your phone, perhaps, or your computer, so that you can use it as a shopping list to replenish your supplies as needed in between your trips.
If you're having trouble wrapping your head around how to design a travel packing list that is KonMari themed, make sure you head to fortheloveoftidy.com. There, anyone who completes the Tidy Pledge receives a copy of an instructional KonMari folding drawer liner with a bonus travel packing list. I will make sure to link this in the episode so anyone of our Spark Joy listeners can grab a copy.
And timing is really key when it comes to packing and getting ready for travel. My best advice is to not wait to pack until the very last minute or the morning of your trip, especially if it's a fun trip and it's all about having a good time and relaxing. It's so much nicer to get ready in advance so you are starting your journey in a relaxed state of mind. Scrambling around the night before a long flight is no fun.
And definitely have your toiletry bag packed and ready to go. This is the one time where we're okay with you having a few duplicates. That can be really helpful in this case. And it allows you to restock supplies for each trip.
If you're trying to pack lightly, think in terms of, if I needed this, could I get it there on the location of your trip? You know, most hotel bathrooms have almost all of the little basic supplies that you could possibly need already stocked. And some hotels now actually even provide workout gear if you need it.
If you're like me, someone who has a lot of sensitivities to certain skincare products and ingredients, or someone who's extremely loyal to your favorite skincare or beauty brands, then you might want to utilize reusable toiletry bottles that are a specific ounce and qualify and get you through all TSA checks. You're able to refill these bottles with your favorite products, those that spark the most joy. So there won't be any guessing when you get to your location. You'll have your favorites right there with you. This also reduces the amount of free sample product clutter that may be piling up in your bathrooms or in your suitcases. I'd like to really shift from a place of scarcity to a place of abundance when thinking about what I'm going to carry along with me, how I'm going to streamline and simplify my options, my choices, by really just sticking with my go-tos and refilling them every time I travel.
Speaking of those tiny hotel bottles, I was just quoted in the New York Times on those tiny bottles and the impact that they have on the environment. We'll be sure to link this in the show notes, so please take a look.
Also, make sure to pack outfits and not items. So think top, bottom, socks, shoes, accessories for each outfit and lay them out if that's helpful in advance. Don't pack a top unless you know what bottoms or shoes and accessories you'll wear with it. Avoid getting to your destination with incomplete outfits to wear.
Conversely, don't pack outfits you probably won't need. What if outfits can eat up a lot of space? Yes, there may be a sudden, unexpected cold snap, but packed for the probably and not the maybe situation. Now, about packing cubes, I am a big fan. I find them to be very helpful in keeping things orderly. I have a different colored set for each member of the family. And in most cases, you pack a cube based on the type of objects. So you'll have socks in one, underthings in another, t shirts in another, and so on. Or you could also pack each one with a different outfit, which would also make things really easy if that idea appeals to you.
Definitely consider leaning on the KonMari fold and the KonMari way of storing items when it comes to setting up your suitcase and utilizing your packing cubes. So everything is upright and on edge to begin with if you have KonMari'd your home and your space. So I love to take my folded shirts directly from my drawer to the cube and then cube to the drawer wherever my destination is. And this reduces wrinkles and definitely saves space. And I also like to make sure everything is clean and protected. So I like to reuse and repurpose things in my home to protect things that are going to end up in my suitcase. I use shower caps to cover my shoes. So any germs on the bottom of my shoes don't transfer to my clothing. Or I also use shower caps to cover potentially leaky bottles or seal them a little bit better. Repurpose sunglass cases to hold wires or small items, fabric covers that usually protect sunglasses or shoes or purses. Those are great to also use to hold things. So you can really get creative here. As long as everything's upright and on edge in the bag, within the packing cubes or around the cubes, everything fits very efficiently.
And we would be remiss if we didn't at least mention the possibility that you might arrive at your destination without your luggage. It definitely happens. A couple years back, we went to Las Vegas and someone grabbed our bag off of the baggage carousel before we even got to baggage claim. So it was really, it could have been a disaster. But our first stop after we picked up our car was to go get some supplies. And we just carried on with our trip because we had the most essential things with us. So it didn't ruin our vacation, but it certainly is something to at least give some thought to.
I also had a situation where my luggage was misplaced during my entire vacation. I actually was writing a claim to get everything back as I got a phone call from the airport saying they finally found my bag. I was able to make the trip a little more enjoyable by having a change of clothes as well as a bathing suit in my personal tote that I had with me at all times. So at least I had one emergency outfit, and that allowed me to continue on with the experiences and buy what I needed there and then figure everything out once I returned to the States. When thinking about what to have in that tote always on your person, consider what chargers you would need for your phone, information about a hotel or rental car, medications you may need urgently, or money or credit cards. Keep those with you at all times instead of in any carry-on or shipped luggage.
And the good thing is that there are very few places that you might travel to, unless you're going to someplace really remote, where if in a pinch, you could not find the things that you needed to continue on with your trip. That wraps up our quick tips for joyful packing for travel. We hope that you feel a little more prepared for your own traveling adventures. With a little preparation, travel can be one of life's greatest pleasures, full of memorable adventures and perfectly packed suitcases.
Thank you to the following listeners who have joined the Spark Joy Club at the Joy Sparker level: Julia Franco, Kate Hudson, Helen Ritchie, Mel Scholl, and Soraya Radovsky. We continue to welcome our listeners who are serious about extending the conversation around taking action, living, and maintaining a tidy lifestyle. Please join the conversation by visiting sparkjoypodcast.com and selecting Join the Club. Thanks again. And of course, we wish you safe and happy travels. So now we want to hear from you. Tell us your burning tidying questions or share stories about how KonMari has impacted your life.
Head over to Apple Podcasts to subscribe and review the show, which helps us reach others along their tidying journeys.
To extend your tidying experience, you can join the Spark Joy Club.
Visit sparkjoypodcast.com and click Join the Club to become a member of the Spark Joy community, or join us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Thanks for tuning in, and we hope your day sparks joy.
Thank you for listening to Spark Joy with your hosts Kristen Ivy of For the Love of Tidy in Chicago and Karen Sochi of The Serene Home in New York City. Spark Joy, the podcast, is not endorsed by or affiliated with KonMari Media, Inc. The opinions expressed on this episode represent the views of the co-hosts and guests alone and do not represent the corporate position of KonMari Media, Inc. or the KonMari consultant community.